7 Divine Spiritual Laws that Unlock Unlimited Wealth. Florence Scovel Shinn. Beloved soul, you stand at the threshold of a magnificent revelation that will forever transform your relationship with abundance. For too long, humanity has wandered in the wilderness of limitation, believing that wealth is scarce, that prosperity is reserved for the chosen few, and that lack is somehow a spiritual virtue. Today, we shatter these illusions and step into the blazing light of truth. You are not a beggar in this universe. You are not meant to struggle and scrape for crumbs. You are the beloved child of the Most High, heir to unlimited wealth that flows from the inexhaustible fountain of divine supply. The first awakening comes when you understand that poverty is not your natural state. It is a lie you have accepted, a false belief that has taken residence in your consciousness like an unwelcome guest. Florence Scovel Shinn teaches us that there is a supply for every demand, and this supply is not dependent on economic conditions, market fluctuations, or the opinions of others. It flows from the infinite storehouse of God, where recession is unknown and scarcity is impossible. But here lies the great mystery that most never grasp. Wealth is not something you chase, manipulate, or scheme to obtain. Wealth is something you already are. In the deepest recesses of your being, beyond the chatter of your worried mind and the fears inherited from generations past, there exists a divine blueprint of abundance. This blueprint was inscribed upon your soul before you drew your first breath, before your feet touched this earth, before you learned the language of limitation. Consider this profound truth. Every morning, the sun rises without questioning whether it has enough light to give. Every spring, nature bursts forth with millions of flowers, never calculating the cost. The ocean never fears it will run out of waves. This is the consciousness of unlimited supply, and it is your birthright. Yet somewhere along your journey, you learn to think like a pauper instead of the spiritual royalty you truly are. The 7 divine spiritual laws we will explore together are not mere concepts to intellectualize. They are living forces that, when understood and applied, will revolutionize your entire experience of wealth. These laws have operated since the beginning of time, governing the flow of abundance to all who align themselves with divine order. They work not because you are worthy. Worthiness is your unchangeable nature. They work because you are ready to remember who you truly are. I speak to you now with the authority of one who has witnessed these laws transform lives, who has seen the impossible become inevitable when consciousness shifts from lack to abundance. You are not reading these words by accident. Your higher self has orchestrated this moment, this encounter with truth, because you are ready for the great shift. You are ready to stop playing small, to stop apologizing for your desires, and to step into the unlimited wealth that is your divine inheritance. The journey ahead requires courage, for we will be dismantling beliefs that have seemed solid as granite. We will be replacing the consciousness of struggle with the consciousness of flow, the vibration of lack with the vibration of limitless supply. As Florence Scovel Shinn declared, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Today we begin sending forth only thoughts of abundance, words of prosperity, and deeds aligned with our highest good. Your transformation begins now, in this very moment, as you open your mind to receive the wealth that has been waiting for you since the dawn of creation. Within your consciousness lies a throne room where you are meant to reign as sovereign over your financial destiny. Yet most have abdicated this throne to circumstances, other people's opinions, and the tyranny of appearances. The first divine spiritual law that unlocks unlimited wealth is the law of divine right. The recognition that prosperity is not a privilege you must earn, but a birthright you must claim. Listen carefully, for this truth will shatter the chains of financial servitude that have bound your lineage for generations. You have a divine right to wealth, not because you are better than others, not because you deserve more, but because you are an individualized expression of the infinite, and the infinite knows no lack. When you align with this law, you stop begging the universe for abundance and start commanding it through the divine authority that flows through you. Florence Scovel Shinn illuminated this principle when she wrote, "Every man has within him the Christ consciousness and must claim his inheritance. Your inheritance is not limited to spiritual gifts. It includes unlimited wealth, perfect health, harmonious relationships, and complete fulfillment. Yet how many of you have been programmed to believe that wanting wealth is somehow unspiritual? How many have been taught that poverty purifies the soul while abundance corrupts it? This is perhaps the greatest deception ever perpetrated upon humanity. Poverty does not make you holy. It makes you unable to serve at your highest capacity. When you are worried about paying rent, consumed with financial fear, and limited by lack, how can you focus on your divine mission? How can you be the light bearer you came here to be when you are dimmed by the shadows of financial struggle? The law of divine right operates through recognition and claim. Recognition means seeing yourself as you truly are, not the struggling human personality, but the divine being temporarily wearing human form. When you look in the mirror, do you see limitation or divinity? When you speak of your finances, do you speak as a victim of circumstances or as the divine architect of your experience? Your claim must be definitive, unwavering, and spoken with the authority of one who knows their true identity. I have a divine right to unlimited wealth because I am one with the source of all supply. This is not mere positive thinking. This is the recognition of spiritual law. When you claim your divine right with conviction, you activate forces in the unseen realm that begin orchestrating circumstances for your highest good. But here is where many fail. They claim their right intellectually while maintaining the vibration of lack emotionally. The law of divine right requires complete internal alignment. Your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions must all reflect your divine inheritance. You cannot speak abundance while feeling poverty. You cannot claim prosperity while acting from scarcity. Every day, you make thousands of choices that either affirm your divine right to wealth or deny it. When you hesitate to invest in your growth because money is tight, you deny your divine right. When you apologize for your success or downplay your achievements, you deny your divine right. When you accept less than what you desire because, at least it's something, you deny your divine right. The transformation begins when you stop negotiating with limitation and start legislating abundance. You are not here to manage lack. You are here to demonstrate unlimited supply. You are not here to make do with less. You are here to prove that in God's kingdom, there is always more than enough. As you embrace this first law, watch how opportunities begin appearing, how resources start flowing, how the universe rearranges itself to match your elevated consciousness. This is not magic. This is the natural result of aligning with spiritual law. Your divine right to wealth is not something you must create. It is something you must recognize, claim, and allow. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. These ancient texts reveal the most powerful force in creation, the divine power of spoken word that flows through you every moment of every day. Yet how carelessly humanity wields this creative force, unknowingly building fortresses of limitation through unconscious speech patterns that have become second nature. The second divine spiritual law that unlocks unlimited wealth is the law of spoken word, which teaches us that your words are not mere vibrations in the air. They are divine decrees that set into motion the very forces of creation. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle profoundly when she declared, "Your word is your wand filled with magic, and whatever you speak brings forth after its kind." Every word you speak regarding money, success, and abundance is either opening doors or slamming them shut. Every casual comment about being broke or struggling is a divine decree that the universe must honor. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," you are commanding your subconscious mind to ensure that this remains true. The universe does not judge your words as good or bad. It simply says yes to whatever you consistently speak and believe. Most people use their words as weapons against their own prosperity. They speak of money as if it were evil, success as if it were selfish, and wealth as if it were unspiritual. They gossip about others' fortunes with envy, complain about their own lack with passion, and predict financial doom with the certainty of a profit. Then they wonder why abundance eludes them, not realizing they have been their own greatest obstacle. The transformation of your financial reality begins with the transformation of your speech. From this moment forward, you must become the guardian of your words, speaking only that which you desire to experience. When someone asks how you are doing financially, instead of reciting your struggles, declare your expectancy. I am in the process of tremendous financial expansion. Amazing opportunities are flowing to me now. This is not lying. This is aligning your words with spiritual truth rather than temporary appearances. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us to use definitive present-tense affirmations that bypass the doubting mind and impress the subconscious directly. Infinite Spirit, open the way for great abundance for me. I am an irresistible magnet for all that belongs to me by divine right. When you speak these words with conviction, feeling, and unwavering faith, you activate the law of spoken word and set into motion a chain of events that must culminate in manifestation. But beware of the mind's attempt to sabotage your declarations with doubt and contradiction. The moment you speak abundance, your conditioned mind will present 1,000 reasons why it is impossible. This is the test of your commitment to transformation. Will you stand firm in your spoken word, or will you retreat into the familiar territory of limitation? The power of your spoken word is amplified when you understand that you are not trying to convince God to give you wealth. You are recognizing that God has already given you everything, and you are simply aligning your consciousness with this truth. Your affirmations are not pleas, but proclamations, not hopes, but declarations of what already exists in the realm of infinite possibility. Practice this daily discipline. Begin each morning by speaking blessings over your finances. Throughout the day, catch yourself when limitation wants to speak through you and redirect your words toward abundance. End each evening by giving thanks for the wealth that is flowing to you, even if it has not yet appeared in physical form. This is how you train your consciousness to become a pure channel for unlimited supply. Remember, the universe is always listening to your words, not to judge or punish, but to collaborate in creating the reality that matches your most consistent thoughts and speech patterns. Make your words your allies in the creation of unlimited wealth. The vast majority of humanity has been hypnotized by the illusion of scarcity, believing that wealth is a finite resource that must be hoarded, protected, and carefully guarded lest it disappear. This fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of abundance has created a world where money flows sluggishly, where generosity is feared, and where the very act of giving triggers panic in the nervous system. Today, we shatter this illusion and embrace two interconnected laws that will revolutionize your relationship with money forever. The third divine spiritual law is the law of circulation, which reveals that money is not a static possession, but a dynamic energy that must flow to multiply. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this principle when she taught, "Money is God in action, and it must be kept in circulation." Just as a river becomes stagnant and polluted when its flow is blocked, your wealth becomes limited when you attempt to hoard it out of fear. The universe operates on the principle of circulation. The stars move in their courses, the seasons change in perfect order, the blood circulates through your body to maintain life. Money, being a form of energy, follows this same divine pattern. When you give freely and joyfully, you create a vacuum that must be filled by the law of supply and demand. When you hoard fearfully, you signal to the universe that you believe in lack, and lack responds accordingly. But here is where most people stumble. They give from a sense of obligation, manipulation, or empty pockets, then wonder why their giving does not return multiplied. The law of circulation requires giving from abundance consciousness, not lack consciousness. You must give as God gives, freely, unconditionally, and with complete faith that the supply is infinite. The fourth divine spiritual law, inseparably linked to circulation, is the law of gratitude. Gratitude is not a mere emotion or polite courtesy. It is a powerful magnetic force that attracts more of whatever you appreciate. When you are truly grateful for what you have, You affirm that you are a person to whom good things flow naturally. When you complain about what you lack, you affirm that you are a person who experiences limitation. Florence Scovel Shinn revealed this truth. The grateful heart is always close to the riches of the kingdom. Gratitude transforms your entire vibrational frequency, shifting you from the consciousness of need to the consciousness of having. It is impossible to feel grateful and poor simultaneously, for gratitude acknowledges abundance even in its smallest forms. Most people have their gratitude backwards. They say, "I'll be grateful when I have more money," not realizing that gratitude must precede the manifestation, not follow it. The universe responds to your current state of consciousness, not your future hopes. When you are grateful for the dollar in your pocket, you affirm your magnetic relationship with money. When you are grateful for the opportunity to pay your bills, you transform obligation into appreciation. The practical application of these laws requires courage and faith. Begin by giving freely of your talents, time, and resources, knowing that you are activating an ancient law that never fails. Give to where you receive spiritual nourishment, to causes that inspire you, to people who cannot repay you. But give from love, not from duty. Give from fullness, not from emptiness. Practice gratitude for every financial exchange in your life. Thank money as it comes to you and bless it as it leaves. Be grateful for the ability to purchase what you need, for the businesses that serve you, for the employment that provides for you. Transform every interaction with money into a celebration of the divine circulation that sustains all life. As you align with these laws, you will notice a remarkable shift. Money will begin flowing to you from unexpected sources. Opportunities for increase will present themselves regularly. People will be inspired to bless you financially. This is not coincidence. This is the result of aligning with spiritual laws that govern the movement of abundance throughout the universe. In the depths of your being lies a power so profound, so transformative, that when properly understood and applied, it can move mountains of limitation and part seas of impossibility. This power is not positive thinking, visualization, or mental effort. It is the divine faculty of faith, operating according to perfect timing that orchestrates miracles with mathematical precision. Yet most of humanity has reduced faith to mere wishful thinking and divine timing to an excuse for delay. The fifth divine spiritual law that unlocks unlimited wealth is the law of faith, which Florence Scovel Shinn described as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not belief. Belief can waver, doubt, and change with circumstances. Faith is knowing, the deep inner recognition that what you desire already exists in the invisible realm and must manifest in the physical world according to divine law. True faith requires no evidence from the external world because it draws its certainty from the unchanging principles that govern creation itself. When you operate in faith, you do not hope abundance will come. You know it is already on its way. You do not wish for prosperity. You prepare for its inevitable arrival. You do not dream about wealth. You live as if it is already your experience. But here is where most people sabotage themselves. They attempt to manufacture faith through mental effort, trying to convince themselves that their desires will manifest while their inner knowing remains in doubt. Real faith cannot be created. It can only be recognized and allowed. It emerges naturally when you align your consciousness with spiritual truth and trust the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. The sixth divine spiritual law, operating in perfect harmony with faith, is the law of divine timing. This law reveals that there is a perfect moment for every manifestation, a divine orchestration that brings together all necessary elements in the most harmonious and efficient manner possible. Your wealth is not delayed. It is being perfected, refined, and prepared for the exact moment when your consciousness can receive and maintain it. Divine timing is not God making you wait because you are unworthy or unready. Divine timing is infinite intelligence arranging circumstances, people, opportunities, and resources in the most beneficial pattern for your highest good and the highest good of all concerned. When you trust divine timing, you release the anxiety, impatience, and manipulation that actually delay your manifestation. Florence Scovel Shinn taught us that impatience is faith in the wrong thing, faith in delay rather than faith in fulfillment. When you are impatient for your wealth to appear, you are actually affirming that it is not coming quickly enough, that something is wrong with the timing, that you are being denied. This consciousness of delay creates more delay, while consciousness of perfect timing creates perfect timing. The practical application of these laws requires a complete reversal of how most people approach manifestation. Instead of pushing, striving, and demanding that things happen on your schedule, you begin collaborating with divine intelligence. You plant your desires like seeds in consciousness through clear intention, then tend them with faith while allowing divine timing to determine the harvest. This means continuing to take inspired action while releasing attachment to specific outcomes and timelines. It means preparing for your abundance while trusting that it will arrive at the perfect moment. It means living in grateful anticipation rather than anxious expectation. When doubt arises, and it will, you do not fight it or try to overcome it through force. You simply return to the truth. Infinite intelligence is working on your behalf, orchestrating the perfect sequence of events that will result in the manifestation of your desires. Every delay is actually divine preparation. Every seeming setback is actually a setup for greater good. As you align with these laws, you will develop what Florence Scovel Shinn called divine indifference. Complete trust in the outcome without attachment to the process. You will find yourself taking inspired action without anxiety, making plans without desperation, and expecting abundance without impatience. This is the consciousness that attracts unlimited wealth effortlessly and maintains it permanently. We have journeyed through 6 powerful laws, each one preparing you for this moment, the revelation of the 7th and most transformative divine spiritual law that unlocks unlimited wealth. This final law is not merely about having abundance. It is about recognizing who you are at the deepest level of being. For when you truly know your divine identity, unlimited wealth becomes not something you achieve, but something you express naturally, effortlessly, and eternally. The 7th divine spiritual law is the law of divine identity, which declares that you are not a human being trying to become spiritual or wealthy. You are a spiritual being, one with infinite abundance, temporarily expressing through human form. This is not metaphor or encouraging philosophy. This is the fundamental truth of your existence. And when this truth penetrates every cell of your being, transformation becomes inevitable. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this ultimate principle when she taught, "Man is made in the likeness and image of God and is meant to manifest God on earth." You are not separate from the source of all supply. You are an individualized expression of that source. The same infinite intelligence that creates galaxies flows through your consciousness. The same creative power that sustains the universe beats within your heart. The same unlimited abundance that maintains all of creation is your true nature. Yet how many years have you spent believing you were small, limited, dependent on external conditions for your supply? How many lifetimes have passed where you played the role of victim to circumstances, beggar to the universe, servant to systems created by others who had no greater claim to abundance than you do? These were simply roles you played while forgetting your true identity. The moment you recognize your divine identity, everything changes. You stop asking God for wealth and start expressing the wealth that you are. You stop seeking abundance outside yourself and start releasing the abundance that has always resided within you. You stop waiting for prosperity and start being prosperous in this very moment, regardless of external appearances. This recognition requires complete surrender of the false self, the personality that has been programmed to believe in limitation, struggle, and separation. It requires dying to who you thought you were and being reborn as who you have always been. This is not spiritual bypassing or denial of human experience. This is the integration of human and divine, the marriage of form and spirit, the fulfillment of your purpose on earth. When you operate from your divine identity, miracles become natural occurrences. Money flows to you not because you have learned the right techniques, but because abundance recognizes itself in your consciousness. Opportunities appear not because you have manipulated circumstances, but because the universe orchestrates itself around divine recognition. People are inspired to bless you financially not because you have convinced them, but because they sense the presence of infinite supply expressing through you. The practical application of this law is revolutionary. Stop trying to get anything and start expressing everything. Stop approaching life from the consciousness of need and start living from the consciousness of supply. Stop seeing yourself as someone who lacks wealth and start recognizing yourself as wealth itself, temporarily condensed into human form. Every morning, before you engage with the world of appearances, spend time in recognition of your true identity. Not affirmation, not visualization, but simple recognition. I am one with infinite abundance. I am the expression of unlimited supply. Through me, the wealth of the universe flows to bless myself and others. Let this truth permeate your being until it becomes more real than any external circumstance. As you live from this consciousness, watch as the 7 laws we have explored work through you automatically. Your divine right becomes self-evident. Your words naturally align with abundance. You give and receive in perfect circulation. Gratitude becomes your constant state. Faith becomes your natural response. Divine timing becomes your trusted friend. And unlimited wealth becomes not your goal, but your gift to the world. This is your destiny, your birthright, your divine inheritance. The 7 laws are not separate principles to master, but facets of one ultimate truth. You are the unlimited wealth you seek, expressing itself through the magnificent vehicle of your human experience. The kingdom of heaven, unlimited abundance in all forms, is not coming someday. It is here now, within you, waiting for your recognition and expression. Step into this truth. Claim your identity. Express your nature. The world is waiting for the wealth that you are.